thing. So it's either, $60, $80 for the 4 sheets or however many I buy, right? Well, if I buy one, that I'm going to pay that $20 in shipping regardless. So it's $40 for 1 sheet or $60, even 65 CMB, she gives free shipping after $65. So I get 3 or 4 sheets, and now I got a free sheet.
Have you seen that reel of the guy trying to figure out his wife's math? She was like, if I paid in cash, it's free. You're sounding a lot like that. No, it doesn't come out of my bank account. I'm paying in cash. It definitely comes out of my bank account. And welcome back to the Riley Black Project, Crystal and John.
What's up?
Oh, just a live guest in the studio. If you don't know, this is Ryan with Sprouse Creations LLC.
Hey, Ryan.
Hey,
what's going on?
How's it going, guys?
Good.
It's a little different without seeing you with your machine,
right? And everything.
Everything in the back.
Well, I know. I mean, just a forewarning: anybody who says they want to come by, I'm gonna make you do a podcast.
Yeah, you're gonna be in person.
That's how I'm here. I just hey, I'm in Florida.
Yep.
They're like, oh, like podcast. So
I was like, yeah, come on by. Probably gonna make you do a podcast. Same thing happened to Christine.
Yep. Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah. We bamboozled them into doing it.
Just throwing that out there. If you come visit, I'm gonna throw you on.
If you say, hey, I'm in Florida, like, hey, you're gonna be on the podcast.
Right.
So schedule that in.
Yeah, right.
You book your Florida trip.
Right.
So before we get into that, I have something.
As you know, it take you had to travel 1,000 miles. You know what I mean? Like this is what it took. This is what it took.
It's only a year late.
You might smell acrylic in the air because there it is.
Fantastic.
There it is.
Love it.
Your sign.
That's
you awesome. Arrived around 1:30ish, and I finished it at 1:13.
Nice.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Perfect. Love it.
Better late than never, right?
Hey, it's great.
If you saw her reel of her cleaning off the machine, this is why.
I didn't post that one yet, but I'm going to.
Oh, so when you see, I saw it already. I got a sneak peek, I guess.
You did. It's in my draft.
I thought you had posted it.
Clean everything off.
I know. Yeah. Well, that's what my reel is going to be about. It's like the people who aren't everyday laser users, it becomes another workspace or another catch-all.
It's a very large table.
Exactly. And so when I go to use it, when I go to use it, I have to clean off said expensive table
and everything
in order to use it. So. Of course. Yeah, he was doing the cables. He was looking at them. They were all like a jarbled mess underneath the table. And he was like, I need to, what'd you call it? Cord something.
Oh, cord organization.
No, you called it something else. But
management. Cord
management. Yes, cord management. Yeah. It sounded a lot fancier than cord organization. And I was like, take a picture. Because everything's content. He's like, it really is.
Dimmers. I put them right here. Yeah.
Hey, attach them to the side.
Yeah. Like, they were all like
hanging
off the floor.
Right.
Yeah. Like let me reach down.
Right now, I got the knobs right there.
That's awesome. And speaking of, I guess, upgrades, it's not really an upgrade, but it kind of is because it made it more streamlined. But you showed me these fancy little arm things. I stopped you from talking about it too much because we need it all in the show, but you showed them to me, and now that I've seen them,
these will go away because I think she's on board.
I'm totally on board. It looked really cool. And it hides the cord like in the
this connects inside and it goes within the arm, so you don't see all this here. But then of course she said if she gets it, she has to bedazzle, even though
I do. Well,
you rarely see it here, but
she
sees it. So she's gonna
perception.
Exactly.
Yeah. But no, they're pretty cool. They it's not like the other ones that we had. I don't think anyone ever really saw those because we didn't have those in the studio.
Oh no, those we got these as soon as we did
those on the couch. They kind of like go like this.
Yeah.
They kind of go up and down. These will be flush and then come up. And then you can move it around.
Gotcha.
Kind of like if you watch Joe Rogan at all,
right?
Kind of like his. So I think basically Amazon finally got. You know how Amazon does? They wait like a certain amount of time for like either patents to expire
to fall off,
to be able to like knock them off
to make their cheaper cheaper version.
We probably shouldn't do it immediately, but
right.
So I think they finally got on, and I mean podcasts have gotten on too. So
true.
So they made their own, and they're more than like. they're cheaper than like $250. I think is what Rogan's are.
Right.
Because when I saw them, I'm like, oh, I like those.
I know, and then you look
And
them up,
it's
and
like $250 each. And I'm like,
that's
I don't know. That's kind of steep for our
Right.
little podcast.
Yeah.
right. Yeah, he can do that. It's,
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's like grab like 6 of them.
Yeah.
Right, yeah,
He
just
has
have a
4.
couple,
He
yeah.
has 4, and 2 of them are always like
Yeah,
over there in the
it's
corner.
out of the way.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We just need our 2, and then if there's a
Yeah.
guest, they can have one of these.
Oh, I was
Right?
thinking of at least getting 3.
Oh, how much
or
are they?
4. I forget. I have to look at the.
Okay.
I know they're cheaper than $250.
Well, sign up for Patreon so we can
There you go.
afford the upgrades to our studio. I mean, we're pretty set. I mean, there's not a lot
We
more.
can use some more lights.
Oh yeah,
We can use different
lights, and then you want a fancy,
what?
the little mixer
And 2
thing, whatever
cameras.
you.
No, that comes with the producer.
Oh, okay.
Because the producer will have to sit there and punch.
They'll have
Because
to
you
have
don't
a
want me.
person.
Because you don't want me to punch live.
Oh yeah, no, because then you won't. You
So-
really won't pay attention.
So
if
we'll
you
have to have. We'll have to hire a producer to do that.
Okay.
But for the time being, we need some more lights, and soon we're gonna add some more cameras.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
Get some different angles.
yeah,
Get some,
exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Well, and will it make editing a little easier or no?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would. It
Yeah.
would. It'd make it less on the software.
Well, and it'll be like, I don't know, watchable better. I guess so. It'll be more like on me instead of me from
Yeah,
the
instead
side.
of this shot
yeah.
zoomed into you. 'Cause
Right.
That's what I do now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Cool.
Yeah.
So,
course.
what are you out here for?
what brings you to Florida?
Right.
So I'm here for work for my day job. So I
Mhm.
work for a general contractor, and my group, we have people all over the country in different offices, and once a year we all get together in one office, and we rotate which office it's in.
Mhm.
It was in Houston, 3-4 years ago,
Yeah.
and so this year was in Florida. It's in our Orlando office. They had just
Nice.
remodeled it like 6 months ago, so
Ooh.
they wanted to show off. a
Right,
little
of
bit,
course.
So
Yeah.
so yeah, it was good. I've been here. We started Tuesday morning, so it's been full days for Tuesday, Wednesday, and then this morning. So a lot of training. Get to see people I don't get to see often.
Right.
From all over California, New York.
Nice.
So it was fun.
Yeah.
That's cool. When do you go back?
I go back tonight. So my
Oh,
direct
okay.
flight leaves tonight. So
Yeah.
it's
Nice.
I'm ready to get home though.
Right.
It's one of those like, I'm ready to be back in my bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like my own bed.
Same.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
felt that way recently when we were on vacation.
Vacation in
Yeah,
Mexico.
Mexico, Cancun. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we spent 4 days, 4 nights.
5 nights.
5
no.
nights.
4 nights, 5 days. I don't remember.
Something like that.
Thursday. We left Thursday morning. We got back Monday night.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, 4 nights.
Yeah.
5 days, 4 nights.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were like that last day was kind of like, there's
Just ready
there's only
to.
so many
yeah.
things you could do at a resort, and we've done them all. Like
There's only so many days that you
Yeah.
can sit in the sun all day and
Right.
drink and sit in
Yeah.
the pool. Like, listen, it was amazing. It was
Yes.
it was nice.
Right.
But
then you just,
yeah.
you
Well,
know,
and-
just go back home.
right. And we
Yeah.
don't drink a lot. So drinking for that many days in a row, you kind of like
Yeah.
over it by then because like,
Right.
you
yeah,
don't
when
really
you talk about it, you don't think like you're gonna be
No, I
over
know.
it. But
yeah.
when you're there, you're like, okay,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
go home
good.
now.
I don't need I don't need a drink
Yeah.
for a while now.
I have very much become like I just want to stay home in my house.
Yeah.
Where I have access to everything.
Yes.
My AC set to what I want it. I
Yes.
have my internet is the way
Right.
I want
Yes.
it.
Right.
So
Very
Yeah.
very homebody now.
I don't have to leave.
God, right?
Okay,
Well,
cool,
and then
I'm good.
like we left a couple weekends ago, we went to go help his mom for a little bit,
Mhm.
and we went for one night and packed the amount of shit you have to pack up
Right.
for a
Yeah.
family of
Yes.
4
Yeah.
for
Yes.
one night. Because
Yeah.
these kids, like, I mean, it's good and bad, but they need their fucking light machine, their sound machine.
Right.
Jackson needed, we literally took his mattress and the tent that goes
Yeah.
over it because that's the
Right.
only way we can keep
Right.
him confined.
Well, and he's outgrown
and-
the pack and play.
right.
So it's like,
Right.
where does he sleep? That's
Exactly.
not-
Right.
Right.
Yeah. And then, because he's not like in a toddler bed yet. So like you can't put him in like a normal bed and
Right.
expect him to stay there.
Right.
And then like, for JR, we had to bring his blanket, his pillow, his little stuffy, the pajamas,
Right,
like extra
right.
clothes, like it. Oh my God.
whole
I
move.
was
I know.
like,
For
we
an
literally,
overnight.
yeah,
For an overnight.
we packed a
Whatever.
huge suitcase for one night.
Yeah.
I was like, this is not, we can't do this. I'm like, if we leave, we have to leave for at least 2 days.
Right. We have to make it
To
justifiable.
make it worth all of the like
And then had to
prep.
we brought Panda, so I had to bring
Her kennel, her
Right.
bed,
Her
her
bed.
leash.
Same.
We had to have our neighbor. We had to get the food ready and give it to our neighbor, so our neighbor could feed the pig. Like
Yeah.
it was.
And that's why
was
you have
a
the
whole
truck,
thing.
because you need the truck to.
Well,
Oh, yeah, you have to. Yes.
yeah. I don't think we could. I mean,
Same.
everything would have fit.
It would
your
have fit
car,
in
but
my
it would've
car, but
been
not nearly
tight.
as comfortable.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, no, just stuff it all in the bed,
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
pile in, we're good to go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And your mom survived.
Yes, she survived our
Barely.
5 days off. Yeah. it was-
Let's share.
That's good.
So we had, which we had cameras at the old house, but we made sure to finally put the cameras
Right,
up here so that we could like, check in as we needed to. And it was funny because he was checking in at one point. So he called his mom and the line was busy. And so he turned on the camera
Just
to
to make
see
sure
like,
she was on the phone.
right.
Right.
Yeah. And she was on the phone, and it was so funny because like right when he turned the camera on, she's on the phone like with her cousin or something like
brother,
that. Yeah,
yeah.
brother or something. And she's like, oh, she goes, yeah, I see. She calls him JJ. She goes, oh, I see what JJ and Crystal go through. This is a lot.
Yeah. They're good. They're good, but they can be a lot. Man. I see what they go through.
Yeah.
Like,
I was cracking up so hard. I was like, it's so validating
Right,
that
right.
like, okay, like it, because I mean, you want them to be an angel for the people who are watching
Right.
them. At the same time, it's really fucking annoying if they're an angel for the people
Right.
who are watching them, because it's like, where's that when you're home with us?
Right.
So
Yeah, we're talking to my son's teachers on his parent teacher
Yes.
conference. He's in
Yeah.
7th grade, and they're like, he's an angel. He's
Mhm.
perfect.
Uh-huh.
He listens. I'm like, whose kid are you talking
Right.
about?
right.
Like,
Well,
he was
yeah,
like that for the
especially
first few weeks. Now he's
now
not.
he's comfortable.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, because now he's
Yeah.
getting
Getting the sad faces instead of the smiley
Oh.
yeah,
faces.
talking
So
too much, not pay attention.
mhm. Oh, well,
Yeah.
my kids do it. I'm like, okay, well, how did that go for you and your friend? Or my friends do it. I'm like, how'd that go for you and your friends? Your friends got in
Right.
trouble too, right? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, well, and then it's the I want to play speech, and we're like,
Yeah.
I want you to get a smiley face. Like it's really simple.
Yeah.
But yeah, it used to be that he was so they'd be like, oh, he's great. He listens. He's my favorite student. And I'm like, like if you had to choose, like, I guess I would want him to be
Right.
good at school.
Right,
Because I mean, that's a lot harder to control or correct when you're not there to like
right.
fix it immediately. But
But you're like,
at the same
Come on,
time,
kid.
right. Can we do both or like halfway?
right. Could you just listen a little bit of the
A
time?
little bit.
Not just never?
Right.
And then, of course, the moment my mom started watching them, all the rules were out.
Oh
the
my God.
window.
Which we knew.
Yep. Well, yeah,
We knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
I told him
I saw
several
him.
times. I'm like, there's going to be so many habits we're going to have to break as soon as we get home.
Right. I checked in the morning before calling, and I see him grab the switch. Now he doesn't play he only plays the switch on the TV. We don't let him like sit there and zone out. So I see him grab the switch off of the base from the TV and go over to the
Take it
island.
over to the kitchen island, which
And
is
then-
still on camera, but obviously not as clear.
But
Right.
his back is like I see his back, but I already saw him grab the switch
Uh-huh.
and go over
So,
there.
yeah.
And then I call and they go over to the couch and he's
Oh my
he's
God.
like, oh
That was
hey.
the best part.
He's like, hey, how's I'm like, how's it going? He's standing on the couch over and
Right.
Hold
we're
on.
like,
Let me do a reenactment.
we're like, hey, don't stand on the couch or whatever, this and that. I'm like, hey, JR, so what were you doing before the phone call? He's like, nothing. I was playing. And I'm like, really? So
Did you have the
is
switch out?
I'm like, is the switch by the TV or over on the island? And he
Here.
just
Just like-
sank down behind my mom. I'm like, where'd you go? Where'd you go, buddy? Yeah, I'm like, there are cameras.
Yeah.
I saw you.
I'm laughing hysterically
Yeah.
while
It
also
was hard
like
not to laugh. Because he got caught. He's like,
snuck down
I'm gonna go ahead and
and
disappear here.
immediately behind her, and she's not big
Right.
at all. She's tiny.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
such a mess.
Now it's
Yeah.
always like, so how late did you stay up? Like,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I mean, well,
What
so
time? Luckily for that she was good about. She was
well,
good about putting
because
it down.
Jackson, I mean, you go 10 minutes past 7 o'clock
And
and
he's
he's a
cranky.
terror. So like you
Yeah.
don't
Right.
she tried like 1 or 2 nights to like keep him up waiting for us to call.
Right.
Yeah.
And she was like, I tried. I couldn't. I had to put him to
Yeah,
bed. And you
she
know
was
that that's a
real
lot for her because she's
Right.
patient.
Right.
So yeah, he doesn't last very long. And
Don't play
I
that.
mean, JR, he can last all night.
Yeah.
But yeah, he does tend to get a little bit crankier. But thankfully, she did really good with bedtime. But yeah, the free range of everything that not so much. But we expected that.
And then the food, the
So.
Rice Krispie treats.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like, well, as long as they're eating, I
Yeah,
guess.
she was
that's
like,
fine.
"Oh
True.
well, I gave him chicken nuggets and he only ate some of those, so I gave him some a banana and then he only ate a little bit of that, and then I gave him some gelatina, which is Jello, and then, like he doesn't have to be eating all the time, and you know they'll survive."
This is what eating all the time. Speaking of all things laser, check out Houston Acrylic at houstonacrylic.com for reliable laser tested and laser approved materials.
Made for makers by makers, Houston Acrylic features over 450 styles of acrylic sheets. With over 50 new arrivals being released this month, Houston Acrylic is committed to bringing new and innovative styles to the laser community. My personal favorite is the matte. Anything matte. And I feel it's perfect for everything.
Don't forget to save 10% by using our exclusive coupon code TRBP10 at checkout. Get inspired today and visit houstonacrylic.com.
Do it.
Hey there, podcast listeners. How great would it feel if this was the year you finally got to escape your 9-to-5 to embrace your lifestyle of creativity and entrepreneurship?
Every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern, Eon Laser USA invites you to join the Freedom to Create webinar, where you'll learn how to make this a reality.
Join leading laser industry professional and brand ambassador Emily, aka That Mom with a Laser, and Eon Laser USA's sales manager Alicia as they dive into all things Eon.
Learn about the advantages of owning an Eon Laser and get the scoop on Eon's rewards and partner benefits. Plus, get a glimpse at how everyday people who started out with zero experience paid off their lasers, scaled their businesses, and transformed their lifestyles.
So if you're ready for a lifestyle change, head over to eonlaser.us/whyus and sign up for the Freedom to Create webinar today.
Thanks for listening. Laser on. I'll never forget one of the first times, it was the first visit I think I came out to see you, and I met them for the first time, and you know, especially then, like it's brand new, so I have to be really nice, and you know, she's offering everything in the house, and I realized
And
that
I told her, I'm like, you can say no.
Right.
Yeah,
And she's like, you
no.
can say no. And I'm like, but I realized like if I don't say yes to something, eventually she's just going to keep offering me things. And so finally, I think it was like I don't even remember what it was, but she literally offered me like 10 or 15 things. And we had just ate before we got there, so I wasn't hungry.
Right.
And finally it was like watermelon or something. And I was like, sure, I'll take watermelon. And she goes, okay, I'll go to the store real quick. And I'm like, no, like I thought you had it here. And she's like, oh, but if you want it. And I'm like, no, I was just trying to say yes to something. So you stop offering me things. So how has it been managing with the kids and like both businesses and a toddler? I mean, 2-year-olds are nuts.
Yes. So my youngest is 2 and she is all over the place. So it is interesting. Everything happens for the business side basically after 9 o'clock at night.
Right.
Like once the kids are in bed, it's like, all right, I get 3 hours to get stuff done. Which is good and bad because like, okay, fine, I can work off of 6 hours of sleep, but it's like every night it's like, oh yeah, it's getting it gets a little rough sometimes.
Well, and then there's some nights you just don't want to, or
exactly.
it's like you had a rough night, especially if like the kid was up for some reason or woke up early,
didn't go to bed quiet. You know, normally I go to bed by like 8:30. Well, it was 8:45. It was almost 9 o'clock. And I'm like, now I have to go do work. So it's been good because I've gotten into a groove. You know, I only do stuff out in the shop. You know, on the CNC and the dirty stuff, kind of once or twice a week. I try to group it. That way I'm not out there every night because then I come back and immediately have to
covered,
shower, covered in sawdust and sweat. The laser stuff's a little easier because it's inside the house, so I can actually do that. I can even kind of like do that while the kids are like, all right, go brush your teeth. I'm going to run a cup. You know? So that's a little easier. So that's started actually picking up. I've done a bunch of tumblers recently. So I just got done doing an order of like 48 for a wedding.
Nice.
And then I had an order of 90 mugs before that. Actually, for the one good thing about having like a day job and then having the side business, I can sell to my day job. So,
And
easy
upsell.
Exactly. And I know they have money, so I don't have to be cheap on those guys.
Right. Yeah.
So,
you know what you can price it at.
Exactly. So that's been good. So yeah, that's actually been the tumblers have actually been really good. The cups and
I like tumblers
because they're I'll say they're easy, but you can do some fun stuff with it.
Right.
I've got an order coming up. They want a full wrap. Well, I've never done a full wrap before, so it's gonna be interesting to kind of do
the
full
testing and
So that'll be fun. But yeah, and once everybody sees it, they're like, "Oh my gosh, it's so amazing!" Like
the mind is blown.
Or especially if they have one with vinyl on it, they're like, "Hey, mine doesn't look like that."
Right.
I can help you out. I can help you out with that. So No, so it's been good. It's been good. It is tough, but it's come to where my wife and I we try to schedule our stuff. Like okay, we're gonna do our thing. Spend time together Tuesday. Or Wednesday. We try to kind of like do that.
Yeah.
It's like okay, fine. I'm gonna do my stuff Monday or Thursday.
Right.
So it does require a little bit of that.
Right.
And thankfully she's staying home right now.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask.
And so she's a kindergarten teacher, and during COVID she decided to I'm not gonna do this thing anymore. Right. Our second one was on the way anyway.
Yeah.
And so she stopped doing that, but she loves to bake. So she started about a year ago, kind of her own thing, doing baking, making cakes. She just made an order of cake pops for a birthday. And of course the problem is there's just so much sweet stuff in the house.
Right.
You have to test it. I do have to test it, but it's like there's so much.
Yeah.
She's gotten really big into sourdough lately. She has sourdough starters. So not just bread. Like she makes bread and it's good bread. She made sourdough cinnamon rolls the other day. Which were fantastic. And so yeah, there's always something.
Right. Yeah.
But no, so that's good too, because that gives her her thing. So like while I'm doing my thing, I'm not worried about her
like avoiding her. She's not alone.
There.
Yeah,
right. Exactly. No, she's in the kitchen with her mixers and flour and sugar everywhere. So so that's good. So and that helps because now we both have something we can do.
Right.
And then we can work on those. Okay, we're gonna do it. Was it Tuesday night? We're gonna plan to do something ourselves. Watch a movie, whatever.
Right.
So
so
it works out.
Which is important because like if I think for us, like if we feel like we're working all day and then as soon as the kids go to bed, then you go straight back to work every single day, it's like, well, okay, what are we doing this for? You know what I mean?
Correct.
And like especially those few hours, like after they get home from daycare and school, like it's nuts. And it's a lot of like refereeing and like, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't hit your brother. Don't take that toy from him. Don't do this. Eat your dinner, sit down, sit on your butt. Don't sit on the chair like that. Like it's just
I want to ride my bike.
Right.
I want to go outside. Can I play in the water?
Yes. All the things. And so then like, as soon as they go to bed, then it's like, and so which we haven't done it much lately, especially since, Mexico and like your mom and all that. But like, we were like, okay, if we're gonna go work, then we'll work until 9 to 11,
right? And
then like 11 to 12 we'll watch a show, and then we go to bed, so that like it's not all like
Well, you can decompress too. You're not just like, all right, I just shut the laser off, and
I can't do that because I have to have like something that's like somewhat mindless, even though my mind never stops. But like if I go straight from laser to the room, I'm like, oh, I need to do this tomorrow. I didn't finish this. There's this other design that I want to try. There's this and this and this. Like I can't. Yeah, I definitely need a little bit of the decompression transition.
Attention, all laser owners and crafters. Are you tired of spending hours cutting, painting, and assembling laser products? Look no further than Crazy Laser Dad Laser Ready Blanks.
Their high quality blanks are expertly sourced, tested, and ready to use with your lasers. Say goodbye to the hassle and frustration of time-consuming projects and hello to more time creating and selling.
Plus, with their wide selection of items, you'll surely find the perfect blank for all your customers.
So, what are you waiting for? Visit crazylaserdad.com today and take your laser crafting to the next level with their laser-ready blanks.
Welcome to the revolution in laser engraving. Introducing Lens Digital, the creators of the game-changing Pyburn rotary attachment. With the Pyburn 4.0, you can turn ordinary cups, tumblers, glasses, and more into extraordinary masterpieces.
Looking to engrave niche items or want the functionality of a chuck rotary? Look no further than the Pyburn Grip, Lens Digital's chuck-style rotary. With a range of different sized jaws, you can easily engrave a wide variety of items. All Lens Digital products are compatible with most CO2 and Galvo lasers and were designed specifically for the laser industry.
All that paired with the best-in-class customer support, Lens Digital is your one-stop shop for all of your rotary needs.
Transform your laser engraving game with Lens Digital, where makers succeed. Unleash your creativity today.
And don't forget, we are proud Lens Digital affiliates as well. If you're shopping, code Riley Black will take $50 off any order of $600 or more.
I'll say it's a little easier for me. I know a lot of your listeners are like you guys, like started this and went into full time. For me, because it is a side hustle, like I'm not reliant on it for income.
Right. Yeah.
So I can be like, do I want to take that order? No, I don't want to take that order. Or, I only want to do orders that are different.
Right.
Like this last order of 48 tumblers was for a wedding. Yeah. And so I had to do like Mr. and Mrs. on like a couple of them and stuff like that. So it was, so I get to choose. Right. And that means I'm not like, okay, every night I'm having to go do the exact same thing every night.
Which is a luxury that I think even people who are doing it full time should work towards, because I remember when I was like finally able to be like, oh no, I'm not going to take that order, whatever it is, even now, because it's like, I know if I do that too much, sure, if you need the money to come in, like you'll take pretty much anything, but it burns you out a lot quicker if it's not something you actually want to do. So doing like the one-offs that fit within it, if they want something from me and they want it in wood, I'll definitely try to convince them to acrylic. And if they don't want acrylic, I'm like, okay, well, I have a couple homies who can help you out. Like, so it's just trying to find your thing. Yeah. And keep it interesting, or, oh, I haven't tried that. That's something I wanted to try. Right. Yeah. And I mean, it's good having that with your side hustle, because you can do that, but it's also like a solid point or solid goal to get to, even if it is like your full time. Yeah.
Right. Because otherwise, if you're just doing the same thing over and over again, you might as well be a warehouse. Just rolling out, so.
And I realized really early on that I had no desire to do that. Like, I remember there was a guy in one of the groups and he was talking about how he just got like a 4,000 count like ornament order, and it was like a plain ornament, whatever, and he made all this money, and I'm like, that sounds awful. Right. Like the money, sure, it sounds great, but like putting in the same sheet of material over and just hitting start each time, and then like monotonously like either removing the masking or sanding or whatever you have to do to finish it off, like that does not sound like fun to me. And like I'll do it here and there. Like I did that one like 500 keychain order.
We also do it all the time when we're counting thingies.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And I mean, I don't know why, but that's different for me. Like,
I don't know why either.
Yeah. I don't know why.
Because I mean, you count it, you put them in the bag, and it's like, same thing.
But like that, I guess it's easier for me. Like that's like making money while I watch TV. To me, which I guess like you could do the same thing with like the laser, with the finishing stuff. You could tie on the strings like while you're watching TV. But like the keychain thingy ones, those don't bother me, because like, I mean, it'll take us a couple hours and we're like, oh, we sell all these, which we know we're going to. Right, it makes this much money. Yeah, exactly. And so that helps when then we're watching TV and, doing it together. But I don't know. It's different. You don't have to
do it like so precise.
Yeah. I think because there isn't
keychain thingies, you've gotten like one or two extra.
Probably. Yeah. Although I'm pretty I'm pretty sure I'm a lot more precise than other people doing it. Cause
I mean, you'll get like I said, one or two more. Right. You usually won't get less.
I don't know, because I do it by pieces, and I go to 100. Okay. I do a couple extra if they get the 500 pack or the 1,000 pack, just because there's a little bit. Yeah, the quantity. There's a little bit more like room for error in the higher quantities. And if you're buying a higher quantity, I don't care if I'm going to give you 5, 10, whatever extra. But no, those 100 packs, they should probably be. If you want some extra ones, buy the bigger packs. Right.
Exactly. It's a better deal.
Yeah. But you're right. It's probably less of the perfectionism. It's just literally weighing them out and putting them in a bag. So it's easier. Yeah. But
it's interesting you talk about, like, tumblers are, like I said, have been big for me recently. And it's kind of the same thing. You stick it in, you turn it on, you let it run. Maybe it's 5-6 minutes.
Right.
I set my Xbox up next to my laser. So It's like, all right,
Nice.
start and play. And take it out, start and play.
Nice.
So I was like, hey, I can get my gaming in while I'm working.
Right.
And then she
No,
can't
honey, I'm
complain.
working.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm working. She's like, what are you doing? Working. The laser's running. Laser's running. Sorry.
I swear I'm working. I mean, you have to monitor the laser.
Exactly.
And that's actually a really good
To
way
be here, so
to monitor the
Exactly.
laser.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just sitting here and so good. All right, keep going.
no fires.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, and again, she should be happy because that means that you don't have to, like, you're not wanting to fit that in,
Somewhere else.
Right. somewhere
during
else.
like,
Right.
your guys' time.
Right, exactly. So it's a win-win for everyone.
Right. So your wife is at home with the kids right now, right? Do you have
Correct.
you have one of each, right? A boy and a
Correct.
girl.
Yes, my
Yeah.
my son's the oldest. He's 7.
And your mother-in-law came to help
Yeah,
out.
she came down. She lives 3 hours away, not too bad, and they come see us occasionally anyway. But
Yeah.
so that way my wife didn't have to wrangle both of them for the
Right.
3 days. So
Yeah.
but then I was on the call with them last night, and they were like, yeah, our son's going with her when she leaves.
For how long?
Like, because I guess they're off school from on
Oh,
Monday,
okay.
so she's like they're
Long
leaving
weekend.
Friday morning, and I'm like, is he off Fridays? No.
All right.
All right, whatever.
Do what you gotta do
right, hey,
sometimes.
you know what? They're happy. It's
Right.
fine. So.
Yeah. It's not, and it's
We
not
have
like you're
school on
doing it
Monday, right?
regularly. Oh
We have
God.
school Monday. I hope it was last Monday for us. I think
Let me see.
because last Monday he was off for
Mhm.
like no reason. Oh no, it was a Jewish holiday. It was Yom Kippur, I think, or something like that.
Let's
Or-
see.
Whatever. But
Where's
this
the
is the
calendar?
time, at least for down here, where there's a lot of Jewish holidays,
Gotcha.
so they'll be off.
What's-
fall
what
time.
is today?
Today is
There's
the
nothing
5th or 6th.
Early
5th.
October, so we're good.
No? Okay.
October 27th, though.
Okay.
There's no school,
All right.
so
So we're good.
we have
Perfect.
some time to prepare for the
Okay,
next
good.
the next off day.
Good. Yeah.
And hey, your mom might be here by then.
Yeah. Hopefully.
So
Yeah, because she said at the end of October today.
yeah, she said end of
There you go.
October
Yeah.
she'll be
Yeah.
she'll be
Sounds
moving
like,
in.
sounds like
So
27th. Sounds or maybe
Right?
26. And then,
Right.
yeah, I'll give you a day.
I know it was
Give
funny.
you
I was
days.
like, when we came back, I'm like, you still want to move in, right? Because it
It'll be
wasn't
easier
that
with the
bad,
three
right?
of us.
Right.
versus
Yeah.
the two
Yeah,
of them,
that's the sell.
then
It
one and
really
two.
It's not
is.
just you. It's
Yeah.
It's all
Well, and
of us.
she's already offered, like, oh, well, I'll take him to school so you guys can sleep
Yeah.
in. And she's like, oh, I'll pick him up, and
Done.
right. And I mean, we came home to a clean house.
Yeah.
She was so
Yeah,
she
there
was
were,
like,
no
oh,
dishes.
I didn't mop your bathroom today. And I'm like, today? Like, did she
And
mop
you're like,
every
"Honey,
day? She
when's the last
probably
time
did.
We mopped
You
it
probably-
ever.
Right? Yeah. Well, I mean, before we had a cleaning lady for that reason,
Yeah.
because we would always like put it off. And then when we finally had the time to do it, that's not what we wanted to spend our time doing. But the first day she dropped him off and came home and like cooked something,
Had like dinner.
cleaned up,
Mhm.
mopped,
Yeah. And it
took
was like
Panda
it was like
out,
11
went
o'clock.
for a walk. It was
like
like
11.
9. I think.
No, it was like 11.
Was it?
Yeah, it was like 11 o'clock.
It's
she's
just
starting
like,
all these.
Sorry, I didn't get it done fast
Mhm,
enough. You
right?
probably,
Okay.
It should have been 9 because
Oh,
she
that's
gets home
true.
at 8:30.
That's true.
from
Yeah.
dropping them off. So yeah, it was like
Yeah,
11.
she was,
She had
and then
done
she was like,
everything.
"Oh, well, I don't know what I'm gonna do now.
Yeah.
I might go."
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's like, she's bored. Like,
Right.
yeah, I mean, I think I said it on the last podcast, but she folded a load of laundry and she thought she was like all done.
Right.
And John comes over with another cart, another like, hamper worth of clothes. And for me, I would have legit been like, oh,
Yeah.
because like you think you're done and you're not
Right,
done.
Right. Or you
Her-
hope they're all towels.
Right.
Right.
Right. It's
Right.
only gonna take me 30 seconds.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Her eyes lit up that there was more
More,
laundry
right,
to
more to
fold.
do.
And I'm like,
Right.
we are not the same. She's like, I don't want to be bored. And I'm like, it's okay to be bored sometimes.
Well, yeah, and when I don't want to be bored, that's not what I want to do to not be bored.
Right.
So
Exactly. Yeah. And he's like, I kind of wish I had that, like, but I kind of don't.
Right.
I'm like,
Some,
yeah, I asked
I mean,
her-
I guess I kind of do, because like I can sit here and edit on the computer for like
Right.
sometimes she's like, how long did you say that was gonna take?
Right. I'm like,
And I'm like,
I'm sitting on
well,
the couch, like, doo, doo.
there's always a few extra touches you can do, you know.
Uh,
all right.
So yeah, so she's always like, you said it was gonna take you about an hour. I'm like, yeah, it's taking a little longer to render
Mm.
and stuff, because there's always a little bit more that can be,
Right. But
Yeah.
you can add.
Yeah, at some point you do need to walk away, and it's
Right.
because at some point you're like, they're not gonna like, the
Right.
client's not gonna see.
Yeah, they're not
that.
going to
They're not
notice
gonna notice
whatever
that
you just
this
spent
little-
30 minutes
right.
on, or
Right.
Right.
So,
same.
No, I agree. And that's my background's in design, architectural design, and it's the same way. It's like you could literally design forever,
Right.
Yeah.
if you wanted to, but it's like
Right.
at some point you got to stop. It's got to be built.
Right.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's like,
Well,
fine,
and you
fine.
gotta, I mean, you have to like build it to like, I mean, you don't want to over engineer it.
right.
And then also like you're paid for so much time. And so
Correct.
at a certain point, like you're going to start losing money if trying to tweak it too
Right.
much, which is, it's hard for as a perfectionist to not
Right.
be like,
Yeah.
oh, let me,
Right. Agreed.
I'm going to, cause that, I mean, there's totally been times where I've spent hours on like the tiniest little like detail
Right.
that I notice that drives me crazy that no one else would
Right.
notice. And it's hard to walk away from those.
Well, then with Premiere, I use Premiere, so there's always
Mhm.
these little tools
Right.
that can make things a little bit, so it's like I want to play with that tool, and this is my
Mhm.
opportunity to actually
Right.
use it in this project. And stuff like I
Yeah.
used have you seen that TikTok thing where it follows?
Mhm.
Oh,
where it
yeah, yeah.
isolates? So I was able to use that in a short, not the same way,
Oh,
Right.
but I was
huh.
able to use that in a short,
That's cool.
and it didn't work the first time, so I had to like
Mm.
figure it out. So
Right,
it took a little
and-
long. So it always takes a little longer because of that. Because
Right.
it's the first time I get to play with this new tool, but now I have to wait.
Now you have to
it
learn
didn't
it.
work the way it was supposed to.
Right.
It's not
Right.
how. So then I gotta go to YouTube and
You're looking
rewatch,
it up, right.
see if I
Look-
did something wrong.
Right.
And then,
Yep.
yeah. So
Try again.
try again.
Yeah. I asked her, I was like, we're going to run out of stuff for you to do. I'm like, we got to find you like a hobby or something to keep you busy. I'm like, and we had to like literally like brainstorm hobbies for her.
Yeah,
And she's
yeah.
like, oh, well, I
Gardening.
like working outside and I like gardening. And I was like, you can plant whatever you want.
Right.
Like, I don't,
Right.
she was like, oh, we could do, what'd she say? Tomatoes and like something
Yeah,
else. And then
some-
flowers in the front. And I was like, as long as you know that you're the one who's going to have
Right.
to maintain it,
Right.
because it
Yeah.
will die the second like you don't want to do
Yeah,
it
right.
anymore. But as long as you're fine, like you can plant whatever
Yeah.
you want. And she's like, oh, okay.
I know my wife I built her some planter boxes in the back, and she was, some flowers, a little bit of, I think she had some tomatoes and potatoes,
Mhm.
and her and the kids had gone out of town to see the grandparents for like 2 or 3 days.
That's
And
it.
she goes, make sure to water them. I had to like set an alarm. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
okay.
and then
oh,
how
I'm
much
like,
water?
Yeah, alarm's
Right.
going
How
on.
long-
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
water.
Yeah.
Forgot that already.
Right.
So yes, it's just not for me. Now
Nope.
she was like, hey, can you build me planter boxes? Absolutely.
Right.
I
Yeah.
will build them for you.
Right.
And then you take it from there.
Right.
So
Yeah. If you want us to do anything,
Yeah, no, that's-
just keep that in
that's not
mind,
me.
whatever you choose. What else we got? I don't know. What do what's new with us?
With us,
Yeah.
I mean, we just got back from Mexico.
Yeah.
We're trying to like
Recover.
recover, crank
Yeah.
things up.
Yeah.
We're debating on what filter box to get,
I know.
when we should buy it, when we
Right.
shouldn't buy it, because I mean it's another investment,
Yeah.
but it's we realize that these windows are pretty thin,
right.
Yeah.
so to put an exhaust hose, and then today when I
Right.
opened up the garage, I'm like, we could do like a doggy door, but but
Right.
of course when we put the windows, we insulated the door, so now there's that padding, so I can't just cut a hole through the
Correct.
bottom.
Right.
So I think the box is going to be the best investment,
Yeah. And then I mean the good part is that
because we don't want to put another hole in the house.
right.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Like we went through that at the old house and had to patch
And we
it up.
didn't plan on moving.
And then this one already with the split AC has a hole,
Right.
but it has
Right.
an AC, so people, it kind of offsets.
Right.
Like,
yeah,
Right.
I
listen,
mean the AC isn't gonna we sell the house, that
Right.
AC is
it's
staying
like,
right
hey,
there.
listen, there's a hole in the garage, but you got an AC, so
Right.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. You got a hole in the garage that was for my exhaust on my laser. And they're
Right.
like, well, is the laser still here? No, I took
Yeah.
that with me. You just have
Right.
the hole.
Right.
You just get
Yeah.
the hole.
Well, and I did like the classic homeowner. I patched the inside and left a really nice dryer vent on the outside that leads to nothing.
Right. Hey, it works. It works. Perception.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
still wonder
thing,
what the
yeah.
new owners did with it.
I don't know.
I don't know if
I
they,
mean,
like-
I mean, they
They
they probably just patched the outside.
Yeah.
That's probably
probably.
what they did. They pulled out the vent and patched the outside.
Yeah.
But we were running out of time, and I didn't have time to
Oh,
patch
yeah.
both sides.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Well, and to make it look nice too, because it was going to clearly be a patch from the outside. Like there wasn't going to be time to like match
the
paint to like
stucco and-
paint over it. And you can't just paint one section.
Although that paint really was nice when I painted that side.
It was
really, when you sell a house, you do things that you've
been putting off,
that you were gonna get to, and then you do it,
to paint that.
right? And then you do it, you're like, man, that really did look nice. I should have done
Why
that.
didn't I do that for ourselves?
Yeah.
When we lived here.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, because we had the when we first got the house, the gutter was the wrong gutter within the screen.
Yeah, it wasn't
so it always
the right
left
ones.
this like after it rained a while, it always left like an algae.
Right.
Yeah, because it would like
thing on the
splash
side,
back.
and every time I would clean it off with the pressure washer, at a certain point, the paint started to come off as well.
Right.
And you just started seeing the color difference. And it didn't look as clean as when we bought the house.
Right.
I'm like, and then we fixed the gutter, and then it stopped growing, but it still left like a little discoloration.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we're gonna paint that one day. And then I did, and I'm like,
we did for selling it.
We're selling the house.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, like our Colorado house. We painted the house.
Yeah.
And then we had the new roof
on
that
roof.
house. And then we had the black roof, so and it was like a gray house. It looked so much better. Like
so nice.
Wow, that looked good. All right, well, enjoy that.
Yeah, because our house was the worst hodgepodge of colors. It was like
our Colorado house.
Yeah, it was like I don't even remember what the base color was. Probably like a tan.
Yeah, like a beige.
And then
tan.
there was something was teal. I think the shutter.
The door and the
shutters maybe, but then there was also something that was like a salmon color too. Like it was three different colors. Yeah, and it was just none of them were ones that we wanted. And it was a HUD home when we bought it, so there was a lot that we had to put into it. So I mean, before we even moved in, we dropped like 20,000-30,000 on the house before we even moved in. So then, it came down to painting the house. That wasn't on the list of priorities when we had to a new AC, new furnace, new carpet, water heater, and then like a couple other things.
There was some plumbing issues.
Yeah, that was just a couple $100. But yeah, so I mean, you go through all that, and it was like,
we need a door in the bathroom.
we had to do something. We painted the deck.
Oh,
we at least painted the deck.
We reinforced the deck.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because the deck was.
Oh my God, we had like a.
Had a little.
No.
It was a second level deck too.
Yeah.
So it was pretty high up, and it was like in our backyard like had this slope down. Well, then we had our housewarming party, I think, and one of our friends leaned.
That friend that's like a bull that comes into the house. So we had one of those, and he just went like he just put his hands down, like, man, this is such a great view, and put his hand down on the railing. And when he did that, it kind of dropped.
It just dropped down.
Yeah,
not out, but
yeah.
So, we're like, oh,
well, we'll be fixing everyone off the deck.
Yeah.
Well, we fixed it. It was like one of our favorite places to hang out. Like I still miss having that deck out there to hang out and like have people over and stuff.
Yeah.
But no, we had to reinforce it, and then we painted it. There were a lot of like little things that we had to do here and there, and painting just wasn't like one of them until our neighbor was getting it was actually painting the house right before we sold it, because our neighbor was painting their house, and we just asked them for a quote, like to see
like what they
and it was pretty affordable.
Like, it's gonna be crazy,
yeah.
And they're like, oh yeah, we could do that for like whatever the number. It was some real
3,000,
1,500, like something cheap, something cheap. We're like, oh, that's it. Yeah, come on back.
Right. Yeah. When you're done with that, just mosey on over here.
Go ahead, put that sign in our yard and get to work.
Exactly. Right.
And then after that we sold. It was the roof though that really brought it all together, and we're like, man, we should have done that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so we've done upgrades here.
Yeah, this house hasn't needed anything though.
No, but we found excuses to.
We've actually, the only thing this house needs is the fence, which now that it's cooler, I will start on. And then the backyard. It has like the world's smallest patio compared to.
Oh my God!
I'll show you the like little. It's not even a lanai to really even call it that.
No,
you can. It's basically the size of
it's
like
8 by 10.
You can put like a ceiling fan in.
It's 8 by 10, but that's tiny.
Wow.
But when you look at the footprint of like the house, you're like, so wait, you went this big with the house,
right?
And then you gave us this little
like, tiny patio. And that's the part that's covered too. Yes, and it's like it's enough to cover his grill, and that's it.
Right. Just don't give us anything.
Right.
At that point.
Because it's hard to add on to it now, because now we have to add on to this 8 by 10 overhang
That's
and concrete
smack
slab
in the
that's
middle.
smack dab in the middle. And we're like, okay, do we build off of it? Is that part not going to have a roof now?
Or-
Like, you know,
right.
it's
You
just
put a trellis. Do you do this?
right.
What size that
Right.
trellis going to be? Is it a
Mhm.
weird shape now?
right.
Well, and then on the one side, it's like on the one side, which would probably be the most ideal, of course, is where the sewer line runs. Because I see the clean out. So
Correct.
it's like, and then so it's like we really shouldn't because, or we can only go so far.
Yeah.
Before,
And then we got to go all the way on this side. And it's just like, why even give us, it would have been better with Nolan on it.
Right.
So we can start fresh.
Right.
Yeah. There's
exactly.
not
So we
much.
can do like a little pathway.
Yeah.
Because I mean, even now we can still do a little pathway,
Right.
but it will look like it's like, okay, so this is covered, that's not covered.
Right.
Right.
And that's the area. Like,
Yeah. There's not much I don't like about this house,
No.
but the back porch and the front porch, and also coming from our other house, we had a badass porch. It was a big
Right.
porch.
Well, and if you have multiple packages going out, you understand
every
you need
single
something
day.
to be
Yeah, I need
covered,
something
Right.
covered.
especially
And the
if it rains.
rainstorms
Right.
here, and
Yeah.
we have zero porch,
Right.
like nothing on the front. So that's something I'd want to do
Yeah.
eventually too. But then I don't even know how we do it because it's like there's just not really the space.
I feel like you just go from the door over to where like
In
my
front
mom's
of
room
the
is.
the
Like, whip
window.
up those plants, yeah. And
Yeah.
then just do a little awning. Like
Overhang.
it can be done. It's
Right.
just
Yeah.
not. Yeah, and then have that little entrance from the driveway. So
Mm.
it kind of enters into like a little closed, what do they call them?
Right.
Like Florida rooms or
Yeah,
something
yeah.
before you get to the door.
Yeah.
It'd be
Something. But yeah, it's
Something.
nothing now. Even if I put the packages like right up against the door, they still like
Right.
the Florida rain
Yeah.
here. It doesn't
Yeah.
go straight down.
Right.
And so they'll
well, you
still
can't see it from
get
the street either. So it's like you have to go
Right.
like leave something in your mailbox. And that's the other thing that's annoying here
What?
is that our mailbox is across the street.
Yeah.
Because of how the mail trucks are, so they just go around. They
Mhm.
just because
They put them all on the
yeah,
right.
it's not really a
side.
cul-de-sac, but there's no through traffic. So in order for them
They
to
just
just
keep
go
going.
around,
Right.
all the
Mhm.
mailboxes are on one side of the street, and we're on the cross side. Because I remember
Mhm.
when I'm like, I didn't see a mailbox on the house, and then it's like, and then I went to Street View and there was no
I
mailboxes,
was
and
like,
I'm like, well, how do we get mail?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's a new house. So it's like,
I was
okay,
like,
maybe
that's
it's like.
gonna be a fun
we'll have to-
thing to
then-
figure out with
Then
packages.
I saw that the neighbor didn't have mailbox, and the neighbor didn't have mailbox. I'm like, so no one has mailbox. I look across the street. I'm like, that's where all the mailboxes are. I'm
Right.
like, I
Mhm.
think our mailbox is across the street.
Yeah. Well, and then
Yeah.
like I don't really want to put the packages there. So like if I have a couple
Right.
packages, if there's only like 4 or 5 and they're small ones, they're keychain thingies,
Yeah.
Right.
I just put them in the mailbox and put the little flag up. But like day like today where there was a whole bunch
Wristlets.
and and
everything,
a
it's
bigger like
box.
a priority box,
Right.
like there's all the things, it's not going to fit there. And like I'd love to make it easy for them and put it right next to the box, but then it's out in the sun.
Right.
It's in our neighbor's yard, literally. Like it's just
Yeah.
out there, and I'm
So we're
like,
just gonna take up this whole space here for our mailbox.
Right.
right? Just gonna scooch on
I
in
mean,
here.
ours, like they put all of ours, like everybody on the street has like the cluster of boxes. So it's like I can't even. There's no flag. I literally can get like
right.
2 or 3 letters is like all
Mhm.
that's in there. And they have, of course, like the big ones. They'll leave your keys and like
Mhm.
Right.
okay, open
Yeah.
letter D.
Right.
Okay. So I just got to where I drive by a UPS store like every day.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Mm.
okay, fine. I'm just gonna box them
Well,
all up and drop off.
Something I'm struggling with out here. UPS is fine, but USPS, everything closes a lot earlier out here. Like and it's just by like an hour or 2, but it's enough to where I
Right.
haven't made it before they closed it.
Right.
Because like I leave to go get the kids around 5, and then I realize at 4:50 I have packages that I'd like to drop off, and I'm
Right.
like, there's not enough time.
Right. to get
And
them over.
yeah, well, and at the old house they closed at 6 on the weekdays, so that was plenty of
Yeah,
time.
right.
If I left at 4:50, it was enough time to go drop it off and then still pick up the kids. But then here too, they on Saturday they close at 12, and at our old house they closed at 2.
Mhm.
And so 2 was easy.
Right.
At every Saturday, if there's something I have to drop off and we didn't like put it out in time, I'm like noon. I'm like, well,
Yeah,
I guess
so-
it goes out Monday.
Right.
So that's I haven't been able to tweak that. Like
Small
then-
town life.
Yeah. Right.
well, and then the other day, he doesn't put them out when he takes the kids because it's like it's a madhouse trying to take the kids and make sure Jackson doesn't run out in the street and all that stuff. So he usually puts my packages out when he comes back home.
When I remember.
When he remembers. And then the other day it was literally like 11:35. And I was like, did you put my packages out? And he was like, shit.
That was yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday. And when I come home after dropping them off, I let Panda out when on the days that I forget to put the packages out. So I let Panda out.
Right.
And then she likes to go on the side of the house where I can see the mailbox. And we don't have a fence yet.
Right.
And I saw the mail lady. I'm like, oh, mail lady came by early today. Cool. And then, just
not a ding or anything.
Didn't register, nothing like that. I probably wouldn't have remembered that I saw the mail lady until she's like, did you put my packages out? And then I'm like, no.
Because I saw
and she's already come by.
She's like, oh, well, let's hurry up before we already missed it. Because while Panda was going, I saw her drive by. Yeah, so we missed it.
Wonderful. Yeah. And then I also forgot and remembered at 4:50 that I wanted to go drop them off. I was like, cool.
So they got dropped off.
Those are going out.
They picked them up this morning.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
That's another thing. I mean, the other house too, we were like kind of at the end of the route, I think. So I could put stuff out at 2:00 and they'd still pick it up the same day because they come to our house sometimes at like 3, 4, 5 o'clock.
Well, I mean, it was a lot denser of a community as well. So they probably had a lot of stops.
Yeah, here they come around 11 o'clock. Right. So if we're not on our game, it's not going out that day.
It's more like change the mentality. It's like, I'm going to finish it today and just know it's going out tomorrow.
That's basically what we do. So we fill the orders for that day, and then they go. We know that they're going to go out the following day. But I would like to. I mean, hail. I don't know what hail. Today I actually finished the orders today and got to add them to the previous days.
I got home from drop off today. She's outside talking with the neighbor. I'm like, what happened?
Not like me.
I said, what happened? Not that she's not friendly. Like, we're friends with our neighbor, but they're both outside talking. I'm like,
and listen, I'm usually sleeping at that time.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, what's going on? What happened while I was gone? And then I park and I'm like, so how's it going? Thinking like, whatever. Nothing. Down the street, someone something happened or no, they're just talking. They're just talking because she was outside putting the mail out. I'm like, oh, you just felt like waking up this morning. Okay, that's nice.
It's not normal for me, but it's also why I'm tired right now and yawning.
Oh,
I didn't get that little nap after the kids go to sleep, but I was still awake. So when if I'm still awake by then, and then I'm like, okay, this is my chance to get up and like stay up.
Right.
But then too, I have to know if I go outside, I know that there's a high likelihood that one of the neighbors is going to talk to me. Unlike the last house, I could put stuff out and no one would see me, especially on the big porch. Yeah. Now I have to walk across the street.
Right.
I'm like, hi. And then the dog's outside and the dog wants to come get her pets. So then she comes over and then we start talking. And then it was funny. I saw him pull up and he goes,
yes. I see the face.
He's like,
you're outside talking.
What the fuck's going on?
What happened? And I was like, I hope they're okay.
Especially if they woke me up.
Like, nothing's on fire.
Nope.
So we're
not that I
can see.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just gotta switch it up. Keep you on your toes.
Right.
You did it. Mission accomplished.
Someday I'll get it.
Are we gonna mention Ghost Malone?
We've already mentioned him.
We've talked about.
I think we've talked about
on
the live. I think we talked about.
That's right.
True, and that's why I put his sign right below it.
Okay.
So even when it's not Halloween anymore, stop. Why would you say that? Listen, we took it away. Not
making it for another 5 years.
I'm really not. So I had him take it away so I could get like a picture of it like without Ghost Malone behind it. And then when he set it back down, I mean, he moves.
Right.
So like you can hide his cute little feet that he has. And I was like, please. He was like setting him down. And at first it didn't. I was like, I'm not making that again. It took me this long to make it. We can't let anything happen to it because it'll take me that long to remake it again,
if not longer.
Yeah. And these tiny little, I tried to make, I think I even put like an offset around those. Man, that LLC was rough.
I'll be honest, the sign I made for myself doesn't even
good to know.
I'm not even gonna try.
If those fall off, there's not a lot of 3M holding those little babies on, but I was like, Well, and I never realize until I make something. I'm like, I know that those are going to be small. And I knew that they were going to be small, but I never realized until I cut them how small they actually will be.
Yeah, those are pretty thin.
Mm-hmm.
Is that matte black and matte red?
Of course. Yeah. And I mean, I had to make it Riley Black, but then also make it Sprouts Creations. Yeah.
Right,
And you offered at one point, oh, I can make my son. I'm like, no, Brian. No, I got to make it. And I knew I wanted to be like very particular in the colors that we did.
Yeah,
but
my logo's a little colorful. And that was at the time because I came up with kind of the outline and the shape and everything.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know what to make it look like. And my wife loves rainbow. She's like, make it rainbow. And I was like,
all right.
I don't want to make it like true rainbow, but like I'll make it, kind of
ombre-ish.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, hey, it works.
It does.
It works.
Yeah,
so
I like it.
It definitely, people ask about it, like, what's up with that? I'm just like, let me tell you, and then I'm going to sell you something.
Right.
So, that's how you get your foot in the door.
Yeah, as long as people talk about it. Hey, I was at the vet because Panda decided to have an upset stomach, and
that was
the shirt, and it started up conversation.
What's that?
Yeah. And he was like, oh, what does your wife do? Yep. And he's like, oh, but if I want like a couple, do I have to buy like 100? And he's like, no, we can do a couple.
I can do a few. And if you need some video services, I got you.
Right.
Here's her card and here's my card.
Yep.
I walk around with both now.
Right.
That's awesome. That's how it works.
Yeah. Got to just get conversation
I keep
started.
Mine in my wallet, and somebody walked up the other day and I'd made a name tag. I'd gone to like an event, and I was like, I'm making myself a name tag. I see people with those real fancy. I had some two-tone acrylic, just etched my name in it.
Yeah.
And somebody walked, that looks fantastic. I'm like, and here I can help you with that.
Right.
I can make some more.
Right. I can make you
give me a list of your names.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So
yeah.
It's all about the advertising.
I mean, your side business is really that was just like, I think you've told us before, it's really just so you can buy like the toys, and it's like, it's your fun time.
Yes.
But like, it also makes you money.
Yes. I started with the CNC machine. I was wanting to do some stuff just for myself. I bought it, did it. It was also a hobby, trying to get something to do.
Right. Yeah.
And then once I started, I made a few things for people, and then I was like, this could make some money.
Right.
And then I already had some 3D printers, and I was like, I can make some money. I was like, well, maybe we just wrap this all up.
Right.
And I was like, and so my goal is, as long as I pay for my toys and come out even, it works.
Yeah.
And anything extra is great.
Right.
So, I have a monthly payment on my laser. As long as I have that much money in the bank account every month,
right,
we're done. So, and it works. I do. So it's
nice.
And like I said, because it's not my main source of income, it's not quite, I don't have to like, oh my gosh, I need like $150 in my bank account for the laser payment. Like, so automatic. So it's like, I don't have to worry about like, did I have enough for the mortgage? Like, no, that's, I went to school.
That's the point we're at.
I went to school
we need enough to pay for the mortgage.
6 years and been working.
So subscribe to that Patreon.
Right. Help us pay our mortgage.
Right. Exactly. I went to school long enough. It's like, that's why I have my day job. It's like, that's what makes the money.
Well, you don't really have any like intentions on leaving, or
not anytime soon. People ask, and all the time when they hear what I do, like, oh, you're gonna stop doing this and do full time. I was like, my company gives us what they call the total compensation package.
Yeah.
It's your salary, your bonus, how much they pay for insurance, your 401k that they contribute to. And it's like, basically how they explain it is, this is the number that if you went to work for yourself to make the same amount of money or same benefits that you have now, here's how much you would have to make.
Right.
There ain't no way. Like, there's not enough hustle. There's not enough hours in a day to hustle that much.
Right.
And so it's like, for the time being.
Well, and you enjoy it. You seem to enjoy it too.
It's not a drag to have to work. So that does help. But I was like, oh,
and that's what it was for me.
Yeah, exactly.
It was the drag. It was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Right. It's not fun anymore because the people and the environment changed.
Right. And
so like, even though the number was nice, it was like, this isn't any fun.
Right.
And it was longer out. Like, in a way, it wasn't longer hours away because we were on a 980 schedule. So we worked, like 9-hour shifts basically, so that you could have every other Friday off. Right. But then it meant that, like, with the driving there and driving back, and taking your lunch and stuff. It was like I was gone for 12 hours.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, I had that Friday off, but that meant I was getting home at 7 p.m., every night. And it's like for something that I wasn't enjoying doing anymore. So yeah.
But it's good to know that too, that, and especially seeing like you guys and everybody else on the Facebook groups that have done it. If for whatever reason tomorrow I just died, nope.
Right.
Like, all right, cool. I just need to pick this up. Let's take it to the next level.
Things change, management changes. I mean, life changes, and you never really know. Like, we obviously didn't see any of this happening, so you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, you didn't know 10 years ago you could do a podcast?
No, I would have told you are nuts. So, I mean, it's awesome too if you have it as a side business, because it's an easy thing to fall back on should you ever need to. You can just step up that hustling that you already kind of did, reach out to a couple of those clients that might need something else, and you'd at least have something to keep the lights
it's not
on.
just a straight like I have money and now I don't have money. It's like I had money, I just now don't quite have as much. But I at least can pay for stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
And we'll just have to sell a lot of tumblers.
Right.
A
lot more tumblers. And so your wife's business, what's hers called again?
It's called Numb Cakes.
I thought so. Okay. But
so both of our logos are based off of our kids. My mine is a variation on the Sprite logo. So if you look like it's kind of an inverse and some variation.
Yeah.
My and Sprouts, my son used to call Sprite Sprout.
Oh,
like, okay. Sprout Daddy. So I was like, you know what?
I
didn't want to call it Ryan's Creations.
Right. It's so
I know, right? Exactly. And so my wife,
my initial one before it was actually a business was Crystal's Crafty Ish, and it was like, the ish was in there to make it a little bit spicy, but like it was very a little. It feels like juvenile, yeah.
And not to say that people have their name
don't
their
nobody get offended, but
to each their own.
Right. Yeah.
It's not for me.
Yeah.
But my wife, my youngest, we say, can I have nums? I want nums. That was food, I want nums. And so we're like, you know what? Numb Cakes. And so it was like I said, it was just something.
Yeah.
It's a conversation starter. It's like, why do you call it like what's Sprouts?
Yeah.
Right.
Let me tell you, and then I'm going to tell you something.
Jackson's thing right now is chippies. Anything, it doesn't have to actually be a chip. It's just anything that's like snack or crunchy. Yeah. It's chippies, and we're definitely not fixing that one because it's so cute.
It is. I know.
It's cute until he says it for the 20th time, and it's about to be dinner.
Right.
But chippies, I want chippies. I want chippies. I want chippies. But yeah, I love those that have like a story behind it too, and it brings a little bit more like, I don't know, meaning.
And it was fun too for me because I designed both our logos and everything. And I went to school for architectural design. You do a little bit of other design while you're in school. I'm not a graphic designer. If somebody said, hey, can you do my logo? I'd be like, nope, sorry. I can do my logo.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was fun because I got to just do whatever I want. Like, when what comes to mind for numb? Like, nothing. So there's no like where somebody's like, maybe it's a flower or something, or you're I think like an automotive shop. Like, okay, cool, you're gonna have a car on it.
Right.
There's nothing for numb. And so it was fun to be able to just like, okay, I can do kind of whatever I want and make it. So it was fun.
And is it just, how is that doing for her? Is she getting like regular like orders? Is it mostly fun and some orders here and there?
Yeah, it's mostly fun and then orders here and there. Ironically, our next door neighbor started literally right next door started a small business doing the big like balloon arches and things like that.
Yeah. I have a friend that does that.
She'd come to me one day. She goes, Ryan, can you make like big wooden backdrops? Sure. Never made one, but I work with wood.
Right.
Let's give it a shot.
Yeah.
I made like half a dozen for her now.
Right.
And the other day she was like, I have a party I'm doing. I need like desserts. And so she had my wife do it. And then these cake pops she did recently was that our neighbor telling somebody else, I have a person that can do cake. And so
that's how it starts too. Yeah.
So she's getting into it. It's been a little more just as it comes up. But she, like I said, she never stops doing stuff. So it's not like she's having any downtime. It's just, it may not be making money or for somebody. So
which makes it so fun. It's like, again, the side
Right.
business
Right.
that if
Yeah.
you get an order, great. If you get one, especially if you get one that lets you be a little creative or whatever, but otherwise I'm just gonna play around and post it and see what happens.
I know, and that's what she does. She goes, she's on Instagram or TikTok. She's like, I saw this amazing thing. I want to try it. Sweet, try
Right?
it.
Yeah.
I bought her she did a space theme one for a birthday
Oh.
party. I bought her an airbrush, a edible
Nice.
airbrush set, and it turned out fantastic. But she was sitting there, she's like, she made like separate cake and iced it just to play.
Yeah.
And so she's over there, and I'm
now
like,
somebody has to eat that.
exactly,
Right? Yes. Rough.
Yeah, because that one's not going anywhere. It's staying here.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
so yeah, she has fun with it, and she made our daughter's smash cake for her first birthday,
Nice.
which was, of course,
Yeah.
cool and cute, and then
And the cleanup.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but no, so it's getting better. We haven't really talked about her like trying to advertise or anything.
Yeah.
Because again, it is kind of just her hobby. She loves doing it, but of course, she's also home with a 2-year-old.
Right.
Maybe as she gets into school where she's at home,
where there's more
for a few hours.
time.
But for now, it's more organic. Just letting it kind of go as it is. So
Nice. That's when it's fun though.
right.
It's also fun to make some money.
Yeah.
It's fun.
And we
Yeah.
need to start
Money.
doing more of that.
Money makes things funner.
It is.
It does.
It's fun.
It
It's fun now,
does.
but you know when you attach some dollar signs to it, it's like, man, this is so much fun. This is so much
Right?
fun.
Oh, watch those
Oh, what?
elbows.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
I know.
Look at your
everybody
old
says,
man
you
elbows.
can't be in it for the money, but it's like
You can.
You can.
like the money
Yeah.
helps.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I may not be doing it for the money. Doesn't
Right.
mean I don't
Right.
want the money.
Right.
Well,
I mean,
and I mean,
I
listen.
like editing. But
Yeah.
when you pay me for it, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna.
Right. Exactly.
Well, and I mean, cakes, like it's a good thing to be able to like have one in the family or have a friend who makes
Right.
them or do them yourselves because cakes are really expensive.
Yes,
and I
yes.
get why. I
Right.
mean, they take a lot more time than you think. I've decorated a couple.
Right.
Like me and my old roommate, we used to
Good old days.
do cake wars at home. And it would take me all day
Right.
to to duplicate some cake that I found on like Pinterest that I wanted to try.
Right.
And it was nowhere near the quality of the one that I'm like trying to duplicate on
If
Pinterest.
you see
It wasn't-
nailed it.
hey, I was just gonna say it wasn't quite nailed it, but it definitely wasn't like Pinterest quality.
Right.
But it took forever and it took, it was all day. And then like you go do something, especially like with the cake, it's kind of with a new project, a new laser project.
Right.
You do a new type of cake. If you have to buy the airbrush machine, you have to buy all the stuff that goes in it.
Right.
Then like, I remember I did like I think I did a galaxy one and I had to buy like all these like special like the sprinkles and those are $5-6
right.
each. And then I did the one was like a melting cone. Actually, it looked kind of like that on the cake.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
like I didn't get like the right like melting chocolate, so it didn't look as smooth as
Right.
like, but like buying all that, and if God forbid you have to buy like a new cake shape or pan or like
Right.
it's expensive. So
Yeah, one of
having
those
someone in the family who
rotisserie
makes it
Right.
rotisserie.
Yeah.
The turntables.
Turntable.
The turntables.
Everything that turns is a rotisserie for you.
No, I just
Like
didn't.
chicken?
That's what came to mind.
He calls the rotary a rotisserie too.
That looks more like a
a rotisserie. I mean,
I know, the first time he said it, I was like, no. I mean,
yeah.
okay,
right.
but no, it's a rotary, not a rotisserie.
The same thing when you put.
Now I
it
want
looks.
rotisserie
Yeah,
chicken.
It looks a lot like. It looks a lot like the ones that you could buy for the grill
Right.
because it's
Right.
the same. It's the same thing, and it kind of looks like it. So
Yeah.
it's just a different
Now-
attachment.
now
You get
mine are gonna be
you get the grip
rotisseries.
instead of the skewer.
No.
Yeah.
But now I want
I'm gonna
chicken.
talk to Len.
Then-
And a rotisserie.
Gonna talk to Len. Get into the rotisserie.
May have him do it for the grills.
just for the grill.
That's
I mean, it's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Len.
Yeah,
Maybe.
same technology. It's just gotta be like heat resistant.
right.
No, I'm sure he
Yeah,
can
no.
figure that out.
Totally. Yeah, in his sleep. Are
Yeah.
you kidding me?
There you go. I know you guys watch.
Yeah, he's the one over here making giraffe tables and all that kind of stuff.
He made a giraffe table.
Well, the downdraft table, the one that you can set in,
Oh.
it sucks it
The
down.
vortex.
They call it
Oh
vortex.
yes, I
Yeah.
want one
In
of
CNC, They call it
those.
a downdraft table.
Mm.
Same idea, but it's
Yeah.
where it sucks. You put suction underneath and
Yep.
it just holds everything down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so cool.
I
seeing
saw it in
at
person.
at the
Yeah.
conference. They turned it on and like, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I don't
It
use
was-
any of that material, but that's cool.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
It makes, like if I had one, I would want to.
Yes.
Just because.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, they use it mostly for the cork that goes on
Yeah.
the bottom of the
Right.
feet of
'Cause
the
it-
rotaries.
It wants to
Yeah, it
fly up,
rolls.
right.
Yeah, and I mean that's
and
what they
your air
use.
Your air assist is going to
blow it all
away.
around. As soon as it's cut, it's gonna fly it all over. Yeah, and the only thing that I use that's similar, I cut felt one year for last year for their costumes.
That's right.
But other than that, I don't typically cut felt. And then where it would help is the veneer.
Oh,
It's
right.
not nearly as
Right.
pliable as cork,
Right.
but like holding that down, because that's a pain in the ass to hold down as well, like to get it. And then the second I cut it, I'm like, don't move, because I don't want it to like go, in between the
to
cut.
be honest, I mean, the ones they use for PNC are holding down blocks of wood. And I've seen it where the guy, like, they'll set just a block of wood, turn it on, and then they start like doing this and it doesn't move. So it's
Yeah.
all just about how much suction you put in
Right.
it. So you
Right.
could, in theory, add a little more suction and use it for acrylic, use it
Right.
for wood,
Yeah.
like 1/4 inch,
Mhm.
1/8 inch. And
Yeah.
it would do the same thing.
Yeah.
Again, you don't necessarily need it for those,
Right.
but
Yeah.
I mean, I have had times where I forgot to lock it down and I bumped it. I'm like,
Womp womp.
now my pieces are all scattered. I have to pick
Right.
them up individually.
Right.
So-
Damn it. So anything else? What's new? Anything else in the how are Christmas orders with the side business?
For me, they haven't picked up as much. Although I did get a couple guys that I've done some stuff for reaching out. Although I did, and this is kind of one of those, and I know a lot of the makers that listen and everything, like the relationship, like build the relationships.
Yeah.
You never know what they're going to turn into.
Right.
Right.
I did a sign for a local small business.
Mhm.
And the lady was like, she was like, your prices are so much better. I was like, well, again, I don't do this,
Right.
Right.
full
Yeah.
time. So,
A lot less overhead to cover.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so she's like, what else can you do? And I was like, I have this. And she's like, could you make like Christmas ornaments that I could sell? I was like, absolutely. Can you
Right.
make, this? I was like, yes, I can make that. And so it's one of the things she keeps like messaging me like, do you
What
make
about this?
Like,
What
do you
about
make
this?
this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, actually that wrap I was telling you about on a Tumblr, the full wrap that I've never done before is for her.
Yeah.
I was like, and it's good because I told her, I was like, I've not done a full wrap, so just let you know. She's
Right.
like, it's my cup. I just want
Right.
to try it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
fine. And so I always say like build those relationships. You never know
Right.
how it might just grow. And so
Yeah.
now I've got like 4 orders for her,
Right.
And
Yeah.
so some of it is for Christmas. She's trying to get her shop ready
Mm.
for Christmas. And so, which is good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's a lot of my stuff. I guess we're in October. I'll probably start getting pretty heavy on my rounds and stuff because people are trying to stock up for
Right.
their stuff for
Right.
Christmas.
Yeah.
So usually October is whenever and
Gets a little-
I'll
picks
get
up a little bit.
an order of 10 rounds and then an order
Yeah.
of 5 and then an order of 6 and then
Yeah.
they want 17 22-inch rounds. It's like that's a lot of plywood.
Right. Yep.
So yeah, and a lot of large boxes.
Right.
Like you have it lucky with the keychain thingies and everything.
Yes.
Like
I don't have to hold
mailer,
a lot of
thing like that.
yeah.
Like I have to. But I actually ended up just getting, if I do 2 to 4 rounds, I just buy sheets of cardboard and basically make my own box, just fold it
Yeah.
and tape it, because I was like, buying 24-inch square boxes are just
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're
ridiculous.
expensive, and storing them
Yes.
because you have to store them flat, obviously. And
so
yeah.
I was just like, no.
that was one thing I underestimated about the annoyance of is when I put out the shafty boards and the booby boards was boxes that fit them. But
correct.
then it was like, if someone orders 2, this box fits perfect. If someone orders 1, I'm
Right.
putting a whole bunch of shipping paper in there, and I'm also paying for that extra inch that's on
Correct.
top. And
And then it gets like,
no
well, if
pun
somebody orders
intended.
3, then I got to go to like another box
Right.
up, and you're like,
yeah, or 2 boxes potentially.
Right.
Yeah. So I definitely underestimated the annoyance of shipping something larger that doesn't fit in like a poly mailer or a bubble mailer or the priority boxes. But I mean, those gamer boxes would have been nice, but they discontinued those.
Right.
So
Well, so they did the same thing with me. My 22-inch rounds fit perfectly in a extra large pizza box. I had a place that I was ordering. They were generic. It just said pizza on it.
Right.
And I'd get like 25 of them for like $1 a piece or something.
Yeah.
Something ridiculous. Like,
Yeah.
and it was great. And they fit perfectly. They're all folded already. I just have to flap down,
Right.
some tape, and I'm done. And I guess COVID hit them and they closed shop, and I cannot find, like, I can find 20-inch boxes. I can find,
right.
It was interesting. For a long time, I was using UPS, and they have their flat rate where if it's a certain volume, doesn't matter shape, it could be a triangle as long as the volume is no more than a certain size. Well, I found that at 22 by 22, 2 inches is perfect. It's still within their range, flat rate. And so pizza boxes are like 2 inches tall. I was like, that's perfect. And so I cannot find, any other pizza boxes that are like larger than 20 by 20. And I'm like, so my 22-inch rounds, I'm like, I just have to do something different.
Yeah.
So, no, it's challenging. It really is to try to, when you offer the different types of stuff, like you have to think about like, well, how am I going to ship it? Am I going to take the hit and ship everything in one bigger box, no matter what it is?
Yeah.
Or do I store every size box I can find?
Which is another benefit to kind of niching it down. When you have your particular things, you don't have to worry about that one-off that's like, oh, now I need a box for that. Or, if I like, I don't do large signs anymore because shipping them is an annoyance for me. Like if someone was picking it up, I definitely consider it.
Right.
But like shipping that is just like, oh, well, now I have to make a cardboard box and that's going to take me an hour because it's something I don't normally do.
I got to get the cardboard. And
the sheets of cardboard. And,
exactly. So I kind of split it up. I offer rounds from 12 inches to 22 inches. And I split into 2 sections. So 12 to 18s are in one box, no matter what. And then the bigger ones are in the other.
Right.
And so, like 12, if I put a 12-inch in there, like one 12-inch, it's like, well, that's a waste. But very seldom do people buy one 12-inch.
Right. True.
Usually it's, okay, I'm going to get 2 12-inches, 2 16s, and an 18. So it's like, okay, cool. That all fits in one box.
Right.
So then you do get those one random people like, I need one 22-inch.
Well, and it's usually I feel like we've all been there because it typically will be the person like just starting out and they're making that one sign for their friend. They don't know if they need another one. Working for Amanda, there was always those people that would buy like 1 or 2 sheets of acrylic, and she's like, I am spending more in shipping materials than I am in this one order of acrylic because, trying to keep one piece of acrylic protected is a lot harder than 2, 3, 4 because with acrylic, it actually is more protected almost the more you buy because it's like
more reinforced.
Exactly.
There's strength in numbers.
Right. Exactly. And so, someone would buy like 1 sheet of mirror acrylic, and I get it too, because especially like when you're just starting out, if you only have a couple $100s in your bank account, you're not going to spend a couple $100s on acrylic. You don't know that you're going to that you're going to use.
You're playing with materials.
Right.
Sure. Yeah. I'm not going to buy 4 sheets, 5 sheets, 6 sheets of it if I'm say because especially there's times still when I get an order I would like, oh, okay, I need to order this color acrylic because for some reason I maybe don't have it. I'm gonna it happens then I'm gonna have to I'm going to have to buy a couple more, and then like the order will be like for $60. Well, then I just spent $80 in acrylic on the order just to get that 1 sheet that I needed for that one. It'll make me money down the line, but
math is hard.
Exactly. Math is hard. But like, here's the thing. So it's either, $60, $80 for the 4 sheets or however many I buy, right? Well, if I buy one, that I'm going to pay that $20 in shipping regardless. So it's $40 for 1 sheet or $60, even 65 CMB, she gives free shipping after $65. So I get 3 or 4 sheets, and now I got a free sheet.
Have you seen that reel of the guy trying to figure out his wife's math? She was like, if I paid in cash, it's free. You're sounding a lot like that. No, it doesn't come out of my bank account. I'm paying in cash, so it's free. Out of my bank account. Yeah, that's what you sound like right now.
But
that's
if I get 3 or 4, then I'll have to pay shipping.
No, but you do, because had you paid shipping, you'd save more. You wouldn't spend as much.
Then I wouldn't have. Then I would have broke even on that order anyway. So then I might as well just spend a little bit more and have some for next time that I'm never going to use.
Yes, dear.
It comes out of my business account.
Not anymore.
doesn't-
Now it comes out of our account.
Our
True.
account, right?
Yeah. Things
It
have
used
kind of
to.
changed.
It used to
Right.
come out of your
Yeah.
business account.
Hey,
You're right.
I've cut down.
Yeah, because you
some.
ran out. There's no more options.
Oh yeah, there is.
There's no more
Oh
options.
yeah,
You've
there's
got like
there's
one of each.
hundreds
There's one of
I
each.
haven't purchased.
Okay.
Both CMB, Houston, and Cerulean Tides have
Need
come
to
out
stop
with.
coming out.
I know,
They
right?
do. Tell them to cut it out. Tell them to stop, but they don't. So then I have a difficult time stopping, but I have.
Okay.
Okay, I'll get on it.
All right.
I dusted off the laser. Maybe we can use it again for something else.
Yeah, I mean we should.
Yeah.
Yeah, have a whole laser. A 9, not even a 7 or a 5. It's a 9.
Right.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe we should start using.
I'll get
it.
around to that.
Yeah,
someday.
Yeah, one day.
Maybe tomorrow.
Well,
Fine.
Ryan, thanks for coming by in
Yeah.
person, and
Yeah.
Thanks for having
your sign, and
Fantastic.
It's there.
You know,
It's
1,000 miles,
me. Yes.
Right?
and
Is
how
it
many years
1,000?
later? Huh?
Yeah, it's about
It's over 1,000 miles,
Is it?
probably.
Yeah, it's
It's
2,000 to Denver.
It's and it's halfway.
Yeah.
So, and how many years?
Just one.
Just one?
Just one.
That's a long year. It's that
it
that
was
math
okay. So
again,
it was
right?
like it was like a month and a year and a couple months because it was his big donation for,
for the
the
studio.
first podcast studio.
Right.
Right.
And here we are in the second studio. And finally, you got your sign.
Yeah, we got it.
Yeah.
Someday, and he's still supporting us. I don't
Yeah.
know why, but
Because we're funny and we make them laugh. Just like we're funny and we make you laugh. So be sure to join our Patreon.
doesn't sound like
What?
An ad
commercial
at all, yeah.
Yeah. You know, I got to push that Patreon.
right.
You know,
we really
gotta,
do.
We got to keep these lights because if not, this turns off. So we want to
True.
keep
It's really true.
Actually, keep the lights on.
Yeah,
Keep
we're-
it-
we
keep it of the show.
literally,
of
yeah,
the show and of the house.
yeah.
But no, join that Patreon
Yep.
for real. We
For
can
real,
use
for real.
all the help. It's $4. $4. You get all this
Starts at
laughter.
$4.
Yeah, starts at 4. And you get all this laughter.
Yeah. And there's discounts if you sign up for the year.
Yeah, if you sign up for the year, you get discounts, and you get if you up the ante, you get shout outs, you get
That reminds
files.
me, I need to send the file for this
Yeah,
one.
you get the file. You know, you get to show off.
The show off level.
Yeah, and then
Mhm.
we're toying with some more extras for you guys.
Oh yeah, that's right.
yeah, we're toying
I
with some
forgot
extras.
about those
Yeah,
extras.
Yeah,
Mhm.
mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, we're trying to up, but with those extras come a little up and down. Yeah,
I know. Might
be a
have to
little
raise
more
that
than-
minimum.
It's gonna be more than $4 for. No, we'll keep the $4.
Oh, okay.
We'll keep that one for
Yeah.
everyone.
Okay.
You know, so if you want to get your feet wet for 1 month, you sign up for the 4.
Yes.
You know what? There's a lot of value, and I want that little extra. So let me go over here. Yeah, you got
That's what we
upset.
hope.
Yeah, that's what we hope. That's what we hope. Well, it's been another great episode of the Riley Black Project with Crystal and John.
Bye.
Mamie, we're all done.